A true journeyman and a prodigy, with two very different paths, found themselves at a crossroads. Continue chasing their singles dreams or go all in on doubles. They now find themselves with two ATP Tour titles and rankings inside the World's Top 30. Evan King and Christian Harrison, welcome to the changeover.
Today is going to be all about perseverance and the grind. Christian Harrison, Evan King has joined us today. And congrats on all the success recently this year.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having us.
Obviously, this year you guys had some big results, the Acapulco title, the Dallas title. But people might only see the flashy stuff. But I think this run started back at the end of 2024. So I'm going to give you a few words, and I just want you to tell me how it all came together. So there's 2024, Temuco Challenger, and Xavier Lawrence. Tell me the story. How did that all unfold?
So Xavier, he knows my dad. He was helping my dad out. My dad had him and just liked having him on court with him. And then he recommended him for me. So then whenever Evan got there, I was just like, hey, Xavier, he's with us. My dad knows him and recommends him from Florida. He's been around a lot, and then that's how he came into the picture. He was providing a lot. Yeah, I'm not more than vibes. Like, he was on court. He was like ripping balls at us. He was making sure that like we were just geared up, ready to go. I mean, so much of it.
Was ripping feeds at Christian, bro.
Yeah, I've never had someone feed like the ones that I wasn't hitting. Like they were hitting back fence, but. Like, at least my eyes were ready that week.
When did your guys' partnership start? When did y'all link up for dubs?
Man, it was that week. It was those 2 weeks. It was Sao Paulo at the end of the year and then Temuco at the very end. Like, we had both wanted to keep playing, like, throughout the year. I mean, I don't know what Christian's reason was, but I was trying to make Australian Open. So I was trying to play as late into the season as possible just to get as many points as possible. And then we were talking about playing, and then like he was free, I was free. It worked out, and then we went final title to end the year. We were both able to play the next slam, so I think that like showed us that we could be like pretty good. Because I mean, shit, we were playing good on there. Can I curse on here?
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
But no, it just showed that we could be pretty good with that final and that title. And then that's kind of how it came to be.
What do you think the complement is for each other's games? Like what about your game matches well with his?
Oh, sorry, I was gonna say I think Evan's versatile. I've seen him play with so many different kinds of partners. So like when we started playing, it wasn't as much as like, are we gonna match up together? I had confidence that we were, just because I had just confidence. I knew how good Evan already was, because I feel like he's had good success with so many different partners throughout the years. And, but then as you start playing, obviously we start getting even more and more comfortable as we start working on different plays and patterns and where the other person's at. So then we felt like even though we were already comfortable, that we still had some room to make improvements.
How long would you say it takes a new team to get used to each other? Is it like matches, or is it like practice sessions together, a combination of both? What would you say?
Man, I think we were kind of learning on the fly, because I remember for the first tournament that we played, I was coming off, I won Champagne, the Challenger, and then I flew straight down to South America, and we probably had to play like that Wednesday. So I think we played one practice set together.
Yeah, he doesn't lose very much. No.
I don't know about that, man. I would have been up there a while ago if that was the case. But it was we were coming off like a late week, played one practice set together, and I just remember like figuring out who has like middle balls like during our like first match, or like how aggressive we're gonna be, and like all those kind of things. So I mean, I feel like in some situations it takes a long time, but I think Christian hit it right on the head. I think both of us are very versatile. Like, He's a great baseline player. I think I can do my thing from the baseline as well. Same thing at the net. He can do the net stuff really well. I back myself up there as well. So we're able to be like, okay, we're playing against this team. Maybe we have to do more of this, or we're playing against that team. We got to do more of that. And then I think we learned pretty quickly that we have like a healthy communication with each other, because like I trust his tennis mind just from playing against him throughout so many years. And I think it's vice versa, where if he says something, I'm like, okay, bet, like, let's do it. And if like I say something, it's the same thing and gets like received well. So I think like that part's been a lot of it more than the tennis. We've been able to adjust, like see something, adjust to it, and then be able to execute those adjustments. I think it's been helping us a lot.
I find this really interesting because I've been playing now a few more challenges here and there, and I feel like the doubles guys are very fucking serious, like super locked in. They work really hard and stuff, but then not that you guys are not, but I watch you guys play against the Italians in Miami, and it looked like you're just having a good time. Like, obviously, you're competing and you want to win, but, like, there's lots of smiling, maybe some banter with the box, like, that sort of stuff. So, do you feel like you have to be in that type of mindset, like, enjoying the match and that sort of stuff to be in a good competitive, like, match, or is it just your personality?
I mean, I think that's another thing that's good about me and Christian as a pair. We are two completely different like individuals. Like my man's over there is doing push-ups pre-match, running sprints, all this kind of stuff. I'm taking a nap. Like it's just like a difference in personalities kind of thing. And like, yeah, I like to talk a little bit with whoever's supporting me. We had Coach Hunter, we had Mike Redlicki up there, we had like our people up there. I like kind of shooting it back and forth in there. And it keeps me engaged, having fun, like that kind of thing. Whereas like Christian has a different way about going in it, but like we both get to our competitive best. And I think we both respect like his way works for him, my way works for me. And then this collab pretty well. So like, I think we're definitely still serious. Like we got after it in practice today and got a lot of work done. But yeah, like I got the speaker out there. I need music during like practice and stuff like that. He doesn't necessarily need that. Like, but it's just, I don't know. It's just the personalities just are different. So like, I like to play with some joy. It keeps me loose, having fun. And I mean, shit, it's Miami Masters, man. Like, it's a good time. I got to enjoy it. I can't be over there all uptight because I'm playing like a big tournament, you know? I've got to like, I don't know, make the most of it, enjoy it. Because it's all new to me as well. So
do you still feel
I'm
like
having a good time?
Do you guys still feel like it's new after like the success in like Dallas and then Indian Wells? Like even now, you know, Monte Carlo obviously didn't go the way you guys would have hoped, but like, do you still feel, obviously these are all new events for you guys and stuff, so do you feel that kind of like you just want to enjoy the moment still, or does it still feel like work?
I would say no. I would say definitely anytime you're going to like a new spot, it feels new, like just being at the tour events. But then after like a few weeks, it's still like when you're practicing and everything, it still feels like the same as, you know, when we started playing, like say like the challengers and stuff at the end of last year. It's like the same type energy. So like Evan said, like that enjoyment, I feel like that's good for everybody, because otherwise it's just like you can only be so serious like for so long, you know what I mean? And then but hopefully it, like everything always feels like a new feeling at all these tournaments, because it's like the first time playing Masters 1000s and actually being there without wild cards or anything.
I want to ask about the mindset, because obviously, especially for Evan, he's played a lot of years in the Challenger Tour and playing doubles. And I think Christian started playing doubles, I guess, as like a priority a little bit later. But you get used to sort of the vibe, the sort of the people that you're playing, the venues and all these things. And now all of a sudden you're winning Acapulco, you're winning Dallas, you're going deep in Miami, Indian Wells. Is there ever a little bit of imposter syndrome? Like you're playing these quote unquote big names and all of a sudden you're closing out sets, closing out matches. Are you ever feeling like a little bit like, I'm not supposed to win this match? Or like, how are you handling those sort of situations when you're outside of your comfort zone, so to speak?
Hey guys, quick break from the episode. The best way to support us is to like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos. Thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of the episode.
Honestly, I think the biggest moment that I've had personally that felt out of my comfort zone was, so we got into Miami off of our ranking, and then we played a wild card team first round. Like we played good players, but like we played like a wild card team. So we're expected to win this match at a Masters. Whereas every single other match we played this year, we've been like on paper crazy underdogs. Like we qualified in Dallas, so we're the qualifier team that does this. We're one of the last teams. I think we might have been the last team on the acceptance list in Delray Beach. We're the qualifying team in Acapulco. We're the wild card team in Indian Wells. So like you play with that freedom, that like looseless, that nothing to lose kind of vibe. And that was like the first match that we like quote unquote were favored to win kind of thing. So I'd say that was more weird than going up against like your like namey names, like your doubles OGs or something like that. Because I don't think either of us would be going after it still if we didn't believe that we could do it like at that level. So I think, at least with me, I always had the belief in myself. Otherwise, I would have started coaching or something, like for real by now. Like I thought that there was a chance that I could make it. And so I got there against those guys. It was cool. But yeah, it was more difficult against the ones that you're like supposed to win kind of thing. So I think that's when Jody, you were talking about that Miami match against the Italians. Like that's an easy one to get up for. Like those dudes finaled the Australian Open. They're one of the, I think, 3 best doubles teams in the world right now. And they're just really good. So it's like, yo, we get to test ourselves about like those dudes. Like, so
I mean, you guys were absolutely rolling. Christian like almost not losing points on his serve until serving for the match.
My man was just going ace, ace. Like,
my dad watched
like crazy though.
My dad was watching and like I don't know how much he's seen of you guys, but he was like impressed. Like he couldn't believe like they couldn't touch his serve. Like they were just, I was like, yo, this man is very fucking good at tennis. You have to understand, this man is very good.
But it's funny though,
Christian was wilding.
No, honestly though, it's funny like what you said a second ago when you're feeling like you're not supposed to win those matches, and it's like sometimes you do feel like that because I remember like the Italians like Vallely Vavasori, like I've watched them for years and I always thought they were like for sure like always one of those top 3 teams, and they've done it, and I was always like, man, these are like a great team, you know, these guys would be tough to beat. And then when we're playing, like, you know, obviously we're having a good match. We're up a set in 5-3 serving. And then I'm serving at that point, was serving great. And then I had that same feeling like, man, we're not supposed to like maybe win this match, and especially like this comfortably. But like then, you know, then the match gets like turned around. And then that's when Evan and I talk about it after. We're like, man, okay, but we're still staying in our like comfort zone, like trying to find, I guess, like that new feeling of like there's always new ways that we're thinking to try to create that belief, you know, to have all the time.
It's kind of that we had an interview with Dennis Kudler early in the year. He was talking about the mindset of being the hunter versus being the hunted. So I guess he's always said it's easier to be the one hunting. So I guess when you're going to get a big win for yourself, maybe it's a little bit easier to kind of swing free and play loose. And then when you're playing the wildcard team, it's a little bit tougher. But how does that, you both played singles to a very high level. So
before we go there, can I just say one more thing about the Vallely Vavasori match? Like, I thought, I think I maybe missed the very beginning. Or maybe I was there, I don't remember. But like, that match, I feel like you guys were both playing really well. And they weren't playing very well. And I remember thinking like, wow, like I didn't expect this from a team that was this good. But then the 5-3 game came and these boys were not making returns the whole match. And all of a sudden it's like 1, 2, 3 clean returns, boom, boom, like a big moment. And they weren't playing good the whole match. The energy was low. They were furious. And then all of a sudden 2, 3 good returns. Facts. And then the match turned. And then even though you guys closed it out, it became like a really tough match for the last like 20% of the match. Like I that's one of the things that I'm learning about doubles is that the momentum is so huge. You know, like 1 point can just change it. Like to go love 15 when you're serving for the match is huge. Love 15, all of a sudden it's a second serve. You know that this guy hasn't been making returns the whole match. All of a sudden he middles one and then you're like, oh shit, some doubt comes in. Like, so how did you guys deal with that moment from that point on? I'm sure you would have dealt with that in other matches as well. So what happens when it gets close and dicey? What are you guys trying to tell yourself?
I would say we look back on the matches where it's happened. Sorry, my video's lagging, so if I'm cutting somebody off. But no, I would say in that moment, it's like we look back on the matches where that had already happened and we had won the match anyways. And we just try to use that for positive energy and just say, hey, like we did good stuff to get in the position. Like, let's just remember that and just try to keep doing it. And then also that's how, like, everybody knows that that's how doubles is. Like it can just, flip like that. So you got to almost expect it that when that happens sometimes, just to be like, all right, it's okay. Like this happens every match. You haven't done anything wrong. And then just make sure you just don't let the game drop, for 5 minutes, and hopefully it's like a minute or two.
So it's more about like recovering as quick as you can from that little dip. Like whatever happens, whether you did it to yourself or did it to you, it's about like trying to recover as fast as possible and not make that momentum go too far.
Yeah, I think for
absolutely.
sure. Like if we have a 20-minute lull, the match is over. Like we could outplay them for an hour, but if they play better the last 20, like we're done. They get paid more than we get paid. Like that's the end, like that's kind of it. So that I'm sure you played a lot of matches where like you feel like maybe you got outplayed like a whole bunch of time, and then the last little bit you get hot, win the match, or vice versa. Like it happens at every single level. And like Christian said, we've had a couple of those matches now where we've been up, got down, and then like finish it up in a third set breaker, so we can draw on that. And then it goes back to the whole like enjoying the moment thing that you were talking about, like not like obviously you get frustrated, your competitor, all that kind of stuff, but still be like, okay, we're still in a great situation. We're still up a set and we're on serve against a top 3 doubles team in the world. Like in the grand scheme of things, you're where you want to be. So that's a good part about having a partner also, because I can be like in my head about it, and Christian's like, dude, like we're ready for a dogfight now, or vice versa, something like that. So it's worked out really well.
It's funny, you have to know your doubles partner so much. Like in Morelos last week, first round, we played a wildcard team. We played a great first set, a tight second set, because now we're feeling how you felt, like meaning like all of the challenges I got into, especially last year, 5 of the 6 weeks I played a seed first round. But then a couple of weeks ago, we did well in San Diego, and then now we're playing.
Yeah, you took out my boy, bro. I watched that. You got Stalder, bro.
Hey, had to be done. No, but but now we're playing a wildcard team first round in Mexico. So we win the first, and now we're like trying to step on them in the second. Don't really get to cross the line. And my partner's fuming at me. So he goes, I'm going to go to the bathroom at the set break. And we walk to the set break, and I say, I'm just going to give him his moment. Didn't say a word to him all the way to the bathroom. Walk far as shit in Morelos to the bathroom. Then on the way back, I told him, like, Freddie, come on. You have to support me here a little bit. Just let's be positive here and help me out. Because Freddie's the kind of man that's just he's going to get pissed, and he's going to rant and complain. But then he'll complain and then play a joke. So sometimes sometimes I just let him complain. I just laugh. But like if he's complaining to me, I have to about me. I tell him, yo, please, like you have to help me a little bit here. Like just be supportive to me and stuff. And then it was great. So I can completely relate to what you're saying there with like knowing your partner and knowing like what 100%. You get from each other.
You ever had any big blows with a partner? Because I don't know if you remember, but back in this must have been 2016 maybe. We stayed together in a housing in Buffalo. It was me, Jody, Evan King, Nathan Pasha, Rob Galloway. I don't know if Dom was staying there, Dom Catron, or he just came by sometimes.
I don't think he was staying there, but I think maybe we would play basketball and stuff sometimes.
We 5 were staying in a housing in the basement.
Yeah, facts.
And Dom Catron and Rob Galloway were playing dubs together. And I think at the time, Galloway's second serve was a little bit of a soft second serve. And I think Dom got hit a few times off the return. So they were like in the backyard, like cursing at each other, like getting into it. But they ended up doing pretty well those couple of weeks. So like have you ever had any very tense party situations? And how do you handle them if you ever have had those awkward and tough talks with a partner?
I feel like I've been doing a pretty good job of, for the most part, just playing with my boys. So, like, that's, like, a really good example. Like, I played a lot with Pasha, played a lot with Hunter Reese, played a lot with Reese Stalder, playing with Christian, who I've known forever. Like,
Pasha was terrible at FIFA, by the way.
And 2K. The man was talking. He was talking all this shit.
Crazy shit.
No. Pasha was talking so much shit to me in 2K, and I was beating him, and he was furious. Like after that, wouldn't talk to anyone in the house. You know them kids that like you play basketball with them, and then you beat them in basketball. They take the ball and leave. You know that.
Bro, tell me why I remember though, because he has this ugly ass lefty jumper too. Like I'm talking about actual basketball too.
Oh
like, what is Spice Adams? This can be big ups?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
That's funny, though.
I was gonna say, I mean, I used to play with my older brother all the time, so I got quite a few of them.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
How are those? How are those ones?
It was always good, but brothers, like, especially when you're like 18, 19, 20 playing, I would get lobbed, I'd turn around midpoint and he's like shaking his head, running for the next ball to cover the other side. I'm like, my bad, I got robbed. But we're still in the point. Yes, I remember we were playing like Lopez, like maybe like second round of the Open one of the years, and then first game, like he's serving in a rally, and then Lopez goes like lob over my head, and I'm like cross, like switching sides, so he's running for the other side, and I see him with his hands like shaking his head as he's running for the next ball, but then he goes and gets a backhand line winner, so I'm like walking back, and I'm like, hey, do you mind just throwing your hands up again before you hit the next shot? Like, seems to be working.
But Christian, I wanted to ask you, what was it like growing up in like a big tennis family? Obviously, your dad was your guys' coach at younger years in Bradenton, and your brother was a really good player. I remember when I was young, I remember hearing about you saying like the younger Harrison brother is supposed to be really good and stuff, and then obviously you had your injury troubles. But what was it like growing up in a tennis family? What was the experience like? And do you feel like you had any pressure on your shoulders because your brother was doing well and that sort of stuff?
No, I never felt like I had any pressure. It was always like motivation, and it was always just like excitement, to keep me trying to chase my goals. I mean, if I didn't have a tennis family, I wouldn't. The chances of me still being able to play today would be very slim, just because, I mean, I missed significant time with quite a few surgeries, and every time it was like Ryan was playing, so I always had him around just to follow. I mean, Michael Venus, who's playing doubles now, has been top 20 for so long. He was always living with us, and just having people around it always kept like the motivation there, especially when you had time off. I mean, sometimes I get it, like some of the people when they break through and they get to that certain level of success, like where they've really made it on tour, and then they get a whole just different stream of like expectations and pressure from media. I've heard them talk about it, but when I was younger, it was more just like you know how it's just different at that level when you're a young junior, because everything that is like a new first, so it's just seen as just like motivation, excitement. But I was lucky that we always had just a passion for playing, and then that's like kept it. Now I'm 30 and everything feels like it's like the first time.
You didn't find yourself comparing to him in any way and stuff, especially when he spent several years in the top 100, and while you were battling, the injuries, you didn't feel like you had to like live up to what he was doing and that sort of stuff?
No, never, because I mean, he was setting the bar so high, and then we're competitive, but we're also just very supportive just how we are of each other, and then it was just always like no, I never even felt like that way in the slightest, just because it was just, if he did well, it would always just somehow give me belief to whatever my next step was that I saw for myself, that I was like trying to kind of get to, just keeping on playing, or whatever my next tournament was. It was just, that's even what Evan and I would kind of do when we started playing together. We would look at other guys who have kind of done it and broken through, and then we just would say, hey, if these guys who are doing it, who we look at as very good players, just 3 years ago, they were battling in the challengers, and then now they're like a name on tour that's really there. Like, I feel like just as a player, you kind of have to find those comparisons sometimes, because it's not always bad to compare in that way. Because I think if you just compare and use it as motivation, as like a way to make yourself believe, then I always look at that as like a positive.
And Evan, I spoke about us meeting there in Buffalo, but I would say like you are like a true journeyman, in the sense like you did the USTA stuff, went Michigan, played the futures for a while, like had some of the wildcards and stuff, but then had to kind of fight your way through kind of on your own. I remember having a conversation with you back when you might have been like inside 300. And we were talking about like you couldn't get rackets from Babolat for free still. Like it was like you were like really, really grinding. And then you had some issues with motivation at times. You were telling me you would lose some matches early in futures when you were younger, and then you would go to the bar and drink. And then it was like like these unhealthy cycles. So kind of, how has your tennis perspective shifted in the last, let's say, 13 years on tour? Like, what have you learned in this time?
In your last
with Christian,
13,
even
13 years, bro.
15 years on tour.
I thought it was about to be like in the last year
Just in
since
the
you
last
started
couple
being really
months or something. Yeah,
13
exactly.
years,
Like,
family.
Jeez.
I want the whole story.
Okay, I guess going through
Spark Notes
different
version.
phases of my career, SparkNotes version, different things in my career. So you go from like a junior who's given like a decent amount of wild cards, because I think I was like top 15 in the world in juniors, to then you go into college, you have a pretty good college career, and everything is kind of given to you a little bit. Like, you're done with your match, you put your clothes in the laundry, it comes back the next day clean for you. You drop off a racket, like in your locker room, it comes back magically, it's done for you. You don't have to worry about travel, you don't have to worry about anything, like all this kind of stuff, right? Then the moment you get on tour, you have to worry about all those random little things. And like in school, you can go through like a couple months without losing a match. And then you're like, oh crap, I'm losing every single week. Like, I am not used to this, like that kind of thing. So that part was kind of tough at the beginning to get used to. And then like, yeah, you build unhealthy habits, because then like you're acting like you're still kind of in college, but this is still your job. So then you progress to, okay, am I going to keep playing? The answer is yes. So if I'm going to keep playing and spending this money trying to play, you got to go about it in like a correct kind of way for the most part. Not saying I'm perfect, but in like a more professional way kind of thing. So that's been a bit of a transition. And then like I go from singles to doubles. So like I get to 185 in singles, but then I get to like 300. And then 300, especially at that time, you're not making shit. You're just playing challengers. You're kind of breaking even, whatever. Then you're playing some doubles and be like, oh, I'm kind of good at doubles. Maybe like my ceiling is better at doubles. Make the switch to that. Same thing. You just got to trust, because as you know, if you're playing challenger doubles and you're not doing that well, you're losing money every single week. So it's the same questions you have again. Do I want to keep playing? Yes. So how do I go about this? Like, in the way that gives myself the best chance of being successful. So for me, it looked like I was playing a lot of weeks on the road, trying to like basically show up to work, like treat it as a job. You show up to work every single day. There are times where you don't want to go to work, but you still end up going to work, get that 2 hours in, 3 hours in a day. Then you can fuck off the rest of the day. You can just chill or whatever, relax, like not go crazy, but like just like put your feet up, decompress, but like you still go to work every day. And I think that's a little bit how my mindset has changed, the SparkNotes version over 13 years. That's a wild, that's a wild thing to say.
I'm stringing up my racket using my Pro Stringer. I've had this machine for 4 or 5 years now. The Pro Stringer is a portable stringing machine. It's very durable. It's accurate. I never have any issues with the tension being incorrect and stuff. It's easy for me to know what to expect from the racket. And we at the Changeover actually have a partnership with Pro Stringer. So if you'd like to go and purchase one, you can go to the website and you get to save $100 off a brand new Pro Stringer when you use our discount code CHANGEOVER in the checkout. So if you're interested in a portable stringing device, I highly recommend this machine. Saves a lot of money in stringing fees. And like I said, I take it everywhere I go and string all of my rackets on this machine.
Do you remember the moment that you were like, all right, fuck singles, I'm going to go all in on doubles? Do you remember like where you were, what you were doing?
Bro, deadass, you remember when we played in that money tournament in Texas? That was like the period of time where I was like making those decisions. Like, I literally had a notebook that was like pros and cons of singles versus doubles. I looked up all these people's rankings, how much money they made, what their rankings were, and like where they had made it, and been like, okay, is this realistic for me? Do I think I can get to like this player's level where he made this? And then the singles version, do I think I can get to this player where they made this? And it seemed to be more realistic for doubles. So like that pandemic, like, because I didn't play, like, you remember when they froze the rankings and you had the option to play or you didn't play? Like, I just chose not to play all of 2020, like after March or whenever they shut it down, because I just had zero clarity and I just didn't want to play just to play. So then, like, I think it was like late November, early December of 2020 where I'm just like, my focus is doubles. Like, I'm doing this now. And then I came out 2021, like, with that kind of energy.
Okay. And Christian, do you remember? Do you remember
Yeah,
your
I
moment?
remember exact. Yeah, it was at Wimbledon. Like I was playing singles that year, like 2022, and I went through qualies, but then I like hurt my like I knew I'd hurt my like foot in the last round of like my qualies match, and then it was still like manageable, and then like first round of the main draw match, it got like really bad. I was up like 2 sets, and then we go to like start the third. Like he took a bathroom break, and like I just like couldn't walk on my foot, so I had to like take some like more pain medicine. Was able to just like get through that match, but then like by the end of it, like I like knew I couldn't walk. I knew I wasn't gonna be able to play the next match, and I just was like fighting tears, like not to cry on the court because like one, I was so happy I just won like the first round match of like a slam, which is something I'd always wanted. But then like I could also like I knew myself, like I knew like my body, and I knew I was about to have a long layoff, and I was like, man, I'm 28. This is kind of like a good moment to come with that like realization, and then I was like happy with that decision. And then so I felt in that moment that was going to be like the last like good singles result that I had, because I knew it's like you still know you're going to have like a protective, you're still kind of unsure like how long it's going to be, but it ended up being like a 7 month thing that I couldn't do anything. And then starting 2023, like I was, my goal was just to play out my protectives, but I knew I wasn't really able, like I wasn't training anymore like a singles guy, like I wasn't practicing really too much. I'd play like a singles event, and then that just kind of like was what I knew. So then whenever I had that moment in 2022, which was like one of the big milestones in my singles career, I felt it in that moment. I was like, all right, I want to like enjoy this right here, because this is probably going to be like my last like thing of significance that I do in singles. And I was like, I was happy with it at that point. So then fighting through 2023, just how I was like feeling and just what my training weeks were like, and I wasn't really playing anything like training like you would need to keep up with singles. Then into 2023, then that's when I was like, all right, I'm gonna start 2024 and just have doubles, just be my own focus. And then I was able to do it with like a clear mind, and then by that time I had different priorities. I wanted to have a life, I want to have family. You can't, if you're fighting through the challenger, sometimes it's tough to have any kind of stability outside of the court. And then by that time I was like, man, I'm 30, pushing 30. I was like, this is what I want to concentrate on. And then that kind of gave me that clarity to just trust that decision. And then it was just about finding the right person to play with, because doubles is super fun if you really get along with your partner and you have that energy day in and day out, like when you're playing and competing. And then that was like the other thing that I'd always enjoyed when I used to play singles, and when I play doubles, certain weeks, that I was like, all right, if I can find that, then I can really have like a good time like playing doubles.
How much has that impacted the body now? Like, has it made a significant difference in the, I guess because it's not as physical, it's not as much pounding, like running and that sort of stuff. Has that made a difference, or do you think part of it might be luck that you've just, been
No,
pretty
I
healthy?
no, I knew it's made a whole difference. I mean, last year was the first year I played where I played like a full schedule, and I knew that for me it was just like when you'd play like a long singles match 2+ hours and then have to play another singles match the next day, and then that's where I was getting like strains and having like that long like over impact, and then you're covering so much court. And then no, I don't think it was like, because now it's like I feel great, and I know like the stress level that my body can handle. And then when I was playing singles, I knew that I was overdoing the stress load, week in, week out. And then eventually it was just like, tennis players, like, you have to spend time on the road, and you kind of have to take that like risk. And I felt like I was having to take too many calculated risks when I wasn't feeling up to it. And then it would catch up to me.
Okay.
Yeah, bro. Because when I first saw him playing doubles, I was in Dominican, the Challenger and the qualies. I didn't see his name in the main draw or the qualies, and then I see Christian Harrison walking around with his bag. I was like, "What's the guy doing? Is he coaching or what? Like, what's going on?" And now he getting it done. I want to ask you guys about another mindset thing. I was watching the Tennis Channel interview, I think with Tracy Austin, it might have been, and you were talking about that grinding mentality. But I want to ask you, when is it okay to let that go a little bit? Because my dog Evan here is walking around with holes in his socks and 6 different brands head to toe. Like, bro, you're top 30 in the world now, bro. I think you could probably get some matching outfits, look like your partner a little bit. I see
no one has
just like looking clean.
You're telling me no one has hit you yet? Like, No one has hit you yet to throw some shoes and clothes your way, or what is it going on?
Turning down money.
Man,
Stay hungry.
That's what's happening.
Stay hungry, dog. What do you mean?
you gotta stay grounded out here, man. I can't just like make a
Bro, you
little
underground, dog.
change,
You
man,
underwater, you drowning.
right? Facts, bro. That's facts. I gotta stay me. I gotta stay me, man. But yeah, it's yeah, I don't really have a good answer to that, man. I'm just out here grinding, man. I'm just out here trying to stay hungry.
Do you feel that's part of, like, let's say, I don't know, I don't want to be all up in your business, right? But like, is that why you would be hesitant right now to take a deal with a company? Like if someone came to you, and offered you clothes and shoes and maybe a little bit of money, would you be hesitant to take it because you feel like you would lose identity? Or is it more like
No,
the right
I
situation
really
hasn't
do.
come yet?
I thoroughly enjoy beating to my own drum, to be honest. And like with like a clothing company or someone giving you something, there's usually an obligation to do something that I potentially don't want to do, if I'm being completely real. And if there's not like either like I absolutely love the brand, believe in it, it's a good product or it's going to a good cause or something, or like honestly like the check isn't there or something like that. Yeah, like I have clothes. Like I have more than enough clothes. I don't really care if they match or not, like or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, shout out to everyone who's like giving me stuff. Eubanks, give me some shirts. Dustin Brown's, give me some gear. Like, through the years, I've had clothes sponsors, and like I haven't gotten any bigger like since I've been like 21. So like all the shit still fits and everything. And actually, shout out to Christian, because Christian's got me hooked up with a couple clay court shoes and some gear for this clay court season. So shout out to that. Right. Nah, he's looking out, man. He's definitely
good person.
Nah, at the end of the day, like I don't know, if the right thing comes around, like yeah, you'll see me matching or something like that. But other than that, I really do enjoy beating to my own drum.
So we are for sale, like, just at the right price.
Yeah, I mean.
Everybody is.
All right. I like that.
Someone asked, we were live on. Sorry, go on.
No, I was just gonna say the next time I get Evan hooked up with like some clothes, I'm just gonna have to remember to like poke some holes and stuff in the shirts and the shorts so then he'll put them on.
The mindset. I like that.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's got a little grimy out here, bro.
Underdog, rugged.
Bro, someone asked yesterday, we were on live on YouTube just hanging out with like some of the audience, and someone asked if I had, since Morelos, did we have any sponsorship opportunities? And I was like, I don't think winning one challenger is gonna cut it. I think you have to win significantly more, like, or get your ranking significantly higher to have offers from any nice offers, at least from clothing brands.
I'm whatever I am in the world. I'm 20-something in the world, and like nothing substantial has come to my attention. So yeah, we got some work to do.
I have a lot of fucking work to do. I have to win. If I told, what did I say yesterday? How many challenges I have to win to play Monte Carlo next year? I have to win every challenge.
Literally all.
Too good. Every challenger, multiple in the same week.
Yeah. It's crazy how that works.
And speaking of the grind, I've never seen people work more diligently than challenger doubles players. Like, went a couple challengers and they're out there feeding the balls. Like, they're up there on the court at 7 a.m. They're there at 8 p.m. They're just doing their knockoff volleys, whatever it is. How many hours a day are you guys spending on court outside of matches?
I think that's a funny bit that you bring up the 7 a.m. and the 8 p.m. though, because I will say, as a doubles player, we get the absolute last priority on courts. So a lot of times that's like the only time we do get courts.
Necessity.
The 7 a.m. spot and the 8 p.m. spot.
That's
so
exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. It's not by choice. It's like by design.
But I do think for a couple of reasons, like, I mean, as Christian was saying before, it's not as physical, so you can spend more time working on specific shots because you're not going side to side to side to side. So all that kind of stuff. And it differs person by person. Like, Christian got another hour in that I didn't play today. Like, that man got his time in, but we just, I don't know, I'll probably get, hour and a half in a day, make sure I get everything in, a little bit more if I need it, a little less if I don't need it. And then Christian works a little bit differently. So I think it's player by player, depending on what your body can handle, depending on what the week needs, if you've gotten a lot of matches in, if you haven't gotten a lot of matches in, like it all differs, but probably somewhere in the 2 range. But the 2 comes in some really fucked up hours.
Yeah, facts.
The only place I've ever seen with like the super high socks, like the circulation socks. You ever seen those?
Yes, but you're about to lie.
I've only ever seen doubles players do that.
You're about to lie. This man Lestienne is a doubles player.
Okay,
It's true.
I haven't seen Lestienne in person.
He's talking about Robin Hasse.
I feel like
he was old then already though.
So what? Robin Hasse is rocking those.
Doubles now also, by the way.
But he was doing that when he was playing singles.
At the end, when he was holding on for dear life.
Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say I was edit that out of the podcast.
That's cold.
Sometimes when an argument's so bad, you gotta kill somebody else. It's bad.
Yeah, why did Robin Hasse just get hit with a straight? I don't understand.
Yo, just
minding his own business.
Oh my god. Justin doesn't mean that.
I do not mean that at all. Bro, on his hard as fuck. Christian, the Wi-Fi good or no?
Yeah, I'm back now. The problem is the Wi-Fi was bad. I took the Wi-Fi off, and now you guys are clear for the first time.
Sick.
So
yeah,
it's a good thing we're 40 minutes in, so it's all good.
Yeah. I know. Better late.
Schedule. So singles players these days, I'm seeing like the guys in the top 200 are playing like damn near 30 weeks a year. But I've seen some doubles guys playing more than that. Like you guys put in some.
We grinding, bro.
Y'all put in some serious shifts on the road,
bro.
y'all pack a suitcase. You know when you're coming home. Like it's serious. How do you manage first and foremost, and then what are you doing to keep yourself kind of fresh in order to compete week in and week out? And it's just easy because you have a partner with you.
Yeah, that's always tricky because I feel like the thing I tell myself now is like last year I played 35, 36 weeks, just completely grinding. So you're like, man, like, okay, like I can do it, but it definitely catches up with you a little bit. But you got to find ways to like people to just hang out with at the tournament sometimes, and it's just like, at least at night, I'm like, okay, as long as I'm practicing the right way, like things are going to get better. Things are going to like come my way. But the travel has to catch up with everybody, at some point. But then it goes back to like, I think maybe like Tennis Sangren might have said it at one point, where he's like, man, tennis players are just tough, like you might get mad, let out some outbursts on court. But then at the end of the day, like when you're by yourself, you're like, all right, I still have to grind and figure out what to do the next 5 days after I just had a result I didn't want to, and I'm away from home. Like I can't do this. I'm in a hotel. The hotel is like not too good. I'm going to have to figure out some random person to room with to save a few bucks. Like guys are just constantly doing that, and it's just like how some of them are doing it. But it's just, I think it's just in grinding that mindset of like, this is what you have to do in order to make it. But having like the right people, the right partner, like sometimes having your just buddy just come along. Some weeks, some guys do that just because you just need like a little reminder.
Shout out
of like,
Coach Hunter Reese.
There you go. Oh man.
I want to ask him about that outburst on the court when he got defaulted.
Let's not do that.
I want to ask him.
Let's not ask him about that, bro. When I had practice maybe like 2 months ago with Horacio Zeballos, and he's like top 10, in the world, Argentinian guy, and I asked him, like, I told him, yeah, like, as a doubles player, we have to travel so much. He's like, oh, that's why I switched to doubles, so I don't have to travel as much. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, I don't play more than, like, 20 weeks a year. But I guess if you're winning all of the big tournaments, you don't have to play more than 20 weeks, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, yeah, I switched to doubles so I can play a little bit less. And I'm looking at him like, bro, what are you talking about?
Bro, but like, my man is literally playing for minimum 90 points every match.
Yeah.
Like, he's only playing 500s and thousands. Like, his low point total is going to be more than winning a challenger. You only have to play 5 tournaments.
Yeah. like he I think he was telling me before 2 weeks ago we trained, and he said, yeah, I'm going to go and like play a 250. And it sounded like it's foreign to him. Like 250 is foreign to him. But he wasn't complaining. It wasn't complaining, but it was more like if how I would, it's like I would describe, oh, I'm going to go play a 15 and try and get some matches in. That's how he's describing 250s.
Dude, honestly, I would say that has like a different mindset with everybody, because some of those guys, especially on the double, where they've been up there for so long, they've played only the big tournaments, and like they have a trust in their level that they're just going to stay there if they only play the big tournaments. Like I was talking to another guy at Breakfast like 2 days ago, Tim Poots, who's been like in top 10, top 15 for a long time, and he was like giving me like recommendations on the schedule, and he's like, yeah, if I were you, you're away from home, I would recommend, it's Monday, pulling out of Munich, going home these 2 weeks because Madrid starts the second week because it's a 500, and it's just a 500. And I'm like looking at him, I'm like,
It's
dude, I'm
just
like,
a
I haven't
fun.
played.
I
Like,
need
I
them points, dog. I was
Not
like,
even
I
that, just
need
the
that.
experience, bro. It's a 500, bro.
And he's like, and he leaves, and I was
I
like, dude, I
need
can't
that.
skip a 500. And then he leaves the conversation with like, and if you know Tim, everything he says, he's just like funny. He's just charismatic guy. He's like, you'll learn. He's like, you can skip. And I'm like, man, like skipping a 500 is like not like that doesn't even make any sense. If I brought that up to Evan, he'd slap me right away and be like, dude, what are you talking about? Like,
Skip a 500, bro.
Yeah, no chance.
So you were talking about leaving Monte Carlo, and you were gonna come to Munich instead of another tournament because it was cheaper. Like, what's the calculation?
No. Like in terms of if we were to stay a couple extra days in Monte Carlo, like the Monte Carlo hotel when we had to pay for it, I want to say is like 475 euros a night, something like that. So,
Bro.
So even at master's level, they don't just give you the hotel for the week. They don't just say, yo.
No, you get it for 4 days starting on Friday. So you get Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, Monday night covered.
Can you just tell me how unreal Monte Carlo is? It must be a joke. It looks incredible.
He wouldn't like
it.
Insane. He wouldn't like it because it's too nice.
It's too nice, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say
we're too comfortable here.
He wants to be in Edwardsville, Illinois.
Yo, don't sleep on Edwardsville, bro. Don't sleep on that. On those high school courts.
Christian.
High school. Shout out.
You get the blinds closed. You don't want to see the
Christian, please tell me how nice Monte Carlo is.
No, I mean, I think Justin said it the best. It was nice for me, but like Evan was like, dude, I do not want to be here. I'm gonna like show up and try to get out of there. Like, he's like, this place is too nice. Like,
I'm gonna break something.
Yo, it's kind of fitting though. They gave me the room that looked into like some scaffolding though. I didn't have the ocean view. They knew me.
But you did say you requested that view when you put in the hotel. You requested.
I did. I requested city view, not ocean view.
You could request ocean view or anything. You requested city view. They're doing work on his room.
Bro, this is ridiculous, bro. This is ridiculous. You have to just look at the ocean, bro. Appreciate a little something, you know?
I'm gonna tell you what my mindset was going into like all these tournaments, right? So all these tournaments you grow up like watching on TV. So like I'm on the plane going from Houston over here, and I'm telling myself like, don't be happy just to be here, kind of thing. Because like my favorite match of all time is the Rome Nadal versus Coria match. That was like 5 sets, like a long time, like insane tennis. And like we're about to play in that venue in like 2-3 weeks. So I'm not trying to walk in there like starry-eyed. All the Monte Carlo pictures that you see with the water, the fanciness, the tournament cars are Maseratis.
Give me the scaffolding right now. Give me the scaffolding right now.
Can I not stay? Can I go in? Can I buy an Airbnb?
Like,
I want to pay for
it. You can't go in there like wide-eyed at it. Like I was just trying to go in like, okay, this is another tournament, even though it's not.
Yo, Evan is the only person that wants to be treated worse. Yeah. Like everyone else is like, treat tennis players better. Like, no, pay us less, treat us worse.
No per diem for me. No per diem. I want to cook.
Yeah, please.
Yo, no per diem's wild.
Girlfriend on the road. Is that, how helpful is that at times? Like, do you ever like, you just need that just so that you're not looking at men all day, every day? Or like, what's the, and is that added stress because of, obviously it's another expense. Sorry to the girlfriends out there if you have, but do you have to weigh that up? Like, shit, like if I bring her, maybe I'm going to feel better, but the bank account is going to take a little bit of a hit here this week, or what? Like, how are you managing that scenario? And is it easy to be on the road 40 weeks a year and have a wife or girlfriend?
Yeah, no, it's like, it's hard. That's why I feel like I've seen so many guys go from like challengers to like right when they get on the tour, they've been single like 6 years and then they're on the tour for 3 weeks I turn my head and then they've got like a serious relationship just because they
Money.
can finally like, yeah. Well, I would say I wouldn't even. You can maybe say that too, but it's also like the first time that guys are like, you know what, I can actually like have a relationship and do it right without feeling bad about coming
Bro,
and like spending all this time, and then you have to spend time together. Otherwise, like it's so hard to like maintain a relationship when you're
Yeah,
apart,
and
no
at
matter
this level, if
what
they
it
come
is.
on the road with you, is better like places to go.
I was gonna say that because Sekou
Not if you
Bakura,
give
we
them
were
the
at dinner.
fucking scaffolding view, bro.
I was at dinner with Sekou. I was at dinner with Sekou, and he said, bro, he will never bring his girlfriend to a future ever. He said he would never do it. He said, dog, if I'm not playing at least challenges, I'm not bringing a girl nowhere. He said, it's embarrassing. You feel that way? Have you ever done that? I've seen Christian at Naples with a young lady before.
But Naples is nice.
I've seen that.
Naples
I
is nice,
said
though.
no.
Wait,
I
Naples
said
is
like
the Midtown, right? Midtown's real nice.
Yes,
I'm
it
just
is
like
nice.
Or no,
I'm just like
That's Western, yeah.
Yeah, that's Weston.
Yeah.
That's Weston.
I'm
All
just
right,
like,
go
if
ahead.
we're dating, I'm just like, if we're dating, you're my girlfriend. You better come with me wherever I have to go.
All
We
right,
can see each
all
other
right.
that week. I don't want to hear it if it's like Naples future and you have to sit up there and like
I
the
don't want to hear it.
wherever
Like,
it is. Yeah.
put your foot
But
down,
it's like,
dog.
but no, it's tough though. Sometimes after a while, because then they're like, well, if you're planning on like staying here at the futures, then I'm out the door. Like
Yeah,
that sort of thing.
yeah.
Because then like that's something that people like feel a lot too. There can be a pressure, but then man, you need that too, just to like experience life with somebody at times, because you're like sometimes you're fighting like, do I want to have a coach this week, or is this the week that I need to really like have girlfriend come and then because we need that time together, if you're like serious. And then I would imagine a lot of guys have to struggle and fight with that, because then you just, man, you get lonely no matter what it is on the road. And then shoot, I call like some of my other buddies that I'm friends with. I guess I probably have a few good friends on tennis, and every like once a month you just need to kind of just vent thoughts out, just to like get your thoughts organized. And everybody, I feel like, experiences those same types of feelings. People put them into words different, but like everybody can like relate, like as soon as you like say something that you're like feeling in that moment.
And don't just love me when I'm top 30 in the world. Love me when I'm
Yeah.
500 too.
Yeah.
So I know it's real. You gotta grind too.
So yeah, when someone's coming with you to the futures, like the challengers and all that, then you're like, all right, I know they're with me for real now.
Yeah.
That's real.
True.
Couple of questions about the tour. So obviously this year there's been a lot of talk about the doubles players not deserving to necessarily be paid what they're paid or whatever. How do you guys feel about all the drama there was with like the Opelka with Bopana, and then also the mixed
Shout
doubles?
out Riley.
Big.
Riley showed both of us love, man.
Did he?
Yeah, no. Honestly, with that, it's like, no, I find that it's just everybody plays doubles. All the people that go there watching, I think at the end of the day, it's just people just want some kind of restructure, no matter how it is, and then that there's the next best thing is just to like find another place of blame on the tour. But at the end of the day, I think the players will support each other. If they feel like they're getting like enough of what they want on the single side and then the double side, because doubles, if you push it, you promote it right. Like, I'm never gonna believe that it's not something that people like aren't gonna enjoy watching, because it's just like, I go to some of these tournaments, like I'm in Monte Carlo, and then people are, oh, like Harrison King, obviously, like they start recognizing just like different things like that. So that makes you at least like feel good a bit. Like, hey, like there's enough people like watching with the right promotion. You feel like things can be in a better spot than they are. But I think when people are outspoken or have their opinions on it, it's more just like, sometimes it's just the next thing that you just want to kind of push, because you also like they want more room on the single side at times, because they feel like they're underrepresented as well. And then so I think that at the end of the day, it's like nothing that's like any like hard feelings or anything towards certain players. It's just, yeah, it's just everybody's trying to find a way to push to get things reformed a little bit.
I find it's tough because I almost agree with Riley sometimes. Like, two things can be true at the same time. Like, I agree with him that I believe that majority of the doubles players probably would have preferred to have successful singles career. Like, they would have preferred to be like, who doesn't want to be like a sick singles player? Like,
That failed singles players.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is they would prefer to be like
You said it in a nice way. what he said was their fails.
I'm not talking about the way he said what he said. What I'm saying is all of the doubles players, a majority, I believe, would prefer to be like really good singles players. Like, who doesn't want to be playing center court, battling 1v1 against some of the best in the world and that sort of stuff. But then on the other hand, I agree with what Christian said, meaning I believe it's about marketing. I believe that they can market it differently and market it better, and people do love watching doubles. So like two things can be true at the same time, you know? So it's about like what you said, like figuring out the structure that works for everybody, and yeah, that's what I find hard about that, like what he said. You know, it's almost like he's saying something in such a harsh way to get attention, but like it's not necessarily wrong what he's saying.
It's wrong either. Yeah.
No, and I think doubles and singles obviously are different. So it's more said like, okay, like these guys can't stand. Some of them can't stand with us on a singles court. So like, don't be on my like practice court or in the locker room with me. But I mean, tennis is tennis. Tennis singles and doubles or vice versa. And then it's just like any. Yeah, I mean that's just I think that's where some of that comes from. But everybody has to be stubborn a little bit on it, kind of like be passionate about what you're doing. So then everybody's allowed. I mean, everybody's allowed to have passionate feelings about a specific matter, especially when it comes to your career and something that you're taking pride in. You know.
Yeah, true.
How you guys feel about the mixed doubles at the U.S. Open? You like the new format? We're gonna see how it goes and see what happens.
I like it if I get a wild card.
If I get a wild card, I love it.
Best shit ever.
I guess that's the problem. There's going to be only a very few amount of people that's going to like it, and the rest are not going to like it very much. So,
Located in South Florida, Access Tennis is in the ideal location for training and competition. There are groups available for all levels of players, from young juniors to top ITF, D1, and pro players like Jody and myself. Access had a big part in the development of players like Cooper Williams, Ben Wilworth, Liam Draxler, and more. Access also has UTR match play certification. Visit accesstennis.com/contact for more information.
Craziest trip. I remember there was a time where I think I could have sworn Evan moved to Australia. Like, you were down there for so long. You were there so long. Like, what's the longest trip or the most obscure trip you've ever had?
I think a couple of them come to mind. I feel like it might have been when we ended up in Buffalo. Like, I think I played a Futures in Tokyo the week before, and then I went straight from Japan to Buffalo. Yeah.
Yes, you did, bro. What is that about?
I did that. That was crazy, but it ended up working out well. Like, it was fine.
Yeah, you won a tournament.
So I did that.
Remember when you got paid to go to Bosnia? Was it Bosnia? You got like a appearance fee to go to Bosnia for
Yeah, that whole trip. I got an appearance fee to play a future. It was in Spain though, but it was the whole Bosnia trip. But I got an appearance fee because I was like the 2 seed at a future. And I got.
Did you turn it down? Like, did you turn it down?
I wanted to grind. I wanted to grind. But no, I feel like I've done a couple 3 months ones. I've gone to China for a while. I did this one Australia one that made no sense because it was like grass, then altitude clay, and then like hard court. Like, those made no sense. But I feel like I've hit every part. Like, me and Hunter have this one trip where we literally went Kazakhstan to Uzbekistan. We took a taxi. This dude laughing. We took a taxi from Kazakhstan, from Shymkent to the Uzbekistan-Kazakhstan border. We walked across the border. Then we hailed a taxi. We hailed a taxi, though, after that. And was like, yo, where are you going? Fergana. It's like 4 hours away or something. And then it's like, oh, yeah, we'll do it. Like, how much was it? Like $50 US?
No, you guys are brave. You guys are brave, bro.
It was $43 US. Shymkent from the border. So we did that. And then, but they got us though. They got us. So they got us with this like shiny car, and it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna be comfortable. It was 3 of us.
and like we're gonna have this, but this car took us to the car that was actually gonna take us, and the thing was riding low, had zero space. Like, yeah, I don't know. I got pictures of it. We ended up grinding, but we made it in one piece. It was all good, and we won doubles that week, so it ended up working out really good.
You gotta
for us.
grind. That's the key.
You gotta grind, man. You gotta keep holes in the socks. Say what? Oh, and then we went to Milan the very next week.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Send those photos to your house.
Scheduling. Yeah.
Yeah, if you have any pictures, though, you gotta send through for sure.
I'll send you that grind because that was crazy. But
any crazy stories to top that?
Nothing that can compare to that. Like, I don't even want to speak after that one because I was like, nah. For me, it was like only just last year. Whenever I spent like 7 weeks on the road, and I went over to Europe to start the year, planning to play like 2, probably 3 weeks was my goal. And that was when I was starting the doubles. I started looking at the point totals. I'm like, man, I need to spend a lot more time on the road. So I'm like there middle of like
all the weeks.
Yeah, what
like
Jody said, you got to win every challenger twice.
Yeah,
exactly. Like trying to play 2 places at once, but just for me it was just spending like that, like 7 weeks on the road, and then like that's what you got to do.
Always to end the podcast, we do a little game, a little tennis and regular trivia combination. So because you guys are over there and he's next to me, I'm gonna just be Evan versus Christian. I'm gonna read out a question. I'm going to read a question out. And when you think you know the answer, you can just shout out the answer. Whoever we hear first is going to get priority. And if you shout it out and you're wrong, you have to wait for the other guy to answer. And if you guys are both wrong, you can both answer one more time. You're both wrong twice, we move on. First to 3 correct answers wins. Yeah?
Got it.
What's on the line then? Let's put something on this for tomorrow.
And by the way, this can be any subject. It could be tennis, it could be mathematics, geography, it could be music, it could be literally anything.
You want to put a 17 on it beginning of practice tomorrow?
No, why don't we just put like you have to carry my bag or I have to carry your bag tomorrow, something like legit.
Deal. Done.
You have to send a video too so we can include it in the episode.
Deal.
Evan wants to lose so we can grind a little harder tomorrow. Question number 1 is who am I? This player is a lefty, represents Great Britain, 7-time doubles Grand Slam champion, former world number 1.
Jamie Murray?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Locked in.
1-0.
Let's go.
Locked in.
1-0.
Question number 2.
Evan,
community.
Evan knew the answer too, just didn't say it.
Yeah.
I want the extra work. Damn, we said all day?
Question number 2. True or false? Novak Djokovic is ranked inside the top 5 this week.
No, false.
That is true. Number 5.
Oh,
1-1.
That is so true, actually. Wow.
I was just starting to put bricks in my bag.
Question number 3. Let's see what that.
Back on the grind thing, actually, I told myself because I lost last week, first round, that I was only allowed to take the stairs, like up and down for the hotel. like dead serious. I was on the 5th floor of that Monte Carlo hotel, just taking the stairs. Anytime that I didn't check out, dead serious. Except for when I checked out with my luggage, I was going upstairs. I did that with Withrow last week. We're like, yo, we lost first round. We taking the stairs.
He did it with you? Withrow did it with you?
Yeah, he did it with me.
That's funny.
That was crazy, dog.
That was funny. All right, go ahead.
Let's see what that
I'm kinda
that Michigan. Let's see what that Michigan education is worth right here. Mathematics. 72 minus 19.
Ugh.
Chalked.
53.
Yes!
Guy's a genius.
No Eddie.
Man's a genius.
Yo. All right.
This guy's locked in.
I'm gonna even this up.
I'm glad I put my calculator here.
I am going to even this up, I believe. This is gonna be name the song. I'm gonna give you the lyrics. Tell me the name of the song. And if Evan doesn't get this right, then you gotta turn your Chicago card in. Simple.
That's tough.
Simple. All right. Now, tell me that ain't insecure. The concept of school seems so secure.
All falls
So-
down.
Kanye.
Yay.
Oh, he almost had it too. He almost had it.
That was close. That was close.
Yo.
That doesn't count.
No, he had it first. The name of the song. All falls down. All right.
Oh,
If
yeah,
Was
if
it?
I lost that,
I heard.
if
Yeah,
I lost
yeah,
that,
it's
that
called
would be
Chicago.
crazy.
I heard
Can't
Chicago.
go home.
I was gonna say Kanye, but
You can't go home after that.
Man, that would have been tough.
All right.
That was really close, by the way, to it being an L. Really close.
Wow. All right.
Facts.
This
My
is the
heart's like
tiebreaker. Carry the bag all day. Final question. What country is Mira Andreeva from?
Russia.
Wow, Christian, you gotta carry the bag, brother. You gotta carry the bag.
it's all good. I want it. I want it.
We grinding on
Well,
it.
the
though.
only reason I hesitated there is because they have the flag down right now. So I'm like, what's going on there? So I was like, is it? Or did she switch to Kazakhstan?
The man's,
Geopolitics. You gotta keep abreast.
man's throwing out trick questions.
Geopolitics, brother.
Boys,
was
it's
funny.
been a pleasure. Like we enjoyed,
Thanks,
Easy, man.
guys.
we enjoyed battling the
thanks for
Wi-Fi
having
with
us.
you guys. Obviously we've been talking to you guys for a few weeks, but when you're winning matches every single day, it's not that easy to sit down and talk on camera. So we appreciate you guys coming through. Wish you guys all the success for the rest of the year, and yeah, appreciate it again. Thanks again.
Yo, keep
Hey, thanks,
grinding.
man. Congrats, also.
Yeah.
For sure. Keep
Thanks, man.
grinding.
Congrats.
Keep the holes in the socks. Top 10 on the way. All the best, boys.
Hey, see you
Easily.
guys.
All right, thanks.
ya.
All right, later.